Hello, Tungsten Miner here. I would like to make an upgrade because I'm going back and forth between my Infusion Altar and my alchemy room, and I want to make an upgrade so that I don't have to keep dragging those jars back and forth. Let's take a look at what's available. Okay, so I've got my Thaumanomicon here, and I've done a bit of research. So starting with your infusion table, out to Mirror Magic, and then finally to Essentia Mirrors. And the whole deal here is that these mirrors allow you to basically create a portal that will allow the infusion matrix to find essences that are not right next to it. So you take one of these things and you pop it on the wall near your infusion matrix, and you take another one and pop it on the wall somewhere close by to where you have all your essentia, and the two will be able to transmit the desire to find that essentia from one place to another. So what I'm going to do is build one of these things and set it up. But one thing we notice, I need some ender pearls, mirrored glass, iron. That's all pretty easy except for the ender pearl. So let's start there. In this mod pack, ender pearls are a little hard to come by. And I talked about in a previous episode that I was going to try and make some of these things. And you can see you need pearls and you need Gulduril. Gulduril we can find way off in Morgul Vale. So why don't we first go take a little trip down that way and see if we can find some. So I'm going to get a few things together and be right back with you. Okay, I think I've got what I need. First of all, you can see I am wearing fortress armor. This is all pretty high-end stuff, not super duper high-end stuff, but pretty good mid-game stuff actually. So pretty well protective. This also has the Lord of the Rings enchantment on it. Just when you make any item, the Lord of the Rings mod adds its own modifiers. So this one's a little bit more durable than usual. Glancing gives you protection against missiles, again, automatically applied. I didn't have to do anything at all. And hardy, a little bit more durability here. I'm also wearing Boots of the Traveler, lasting, as Lord of the Rings. This allows me to jump higher, move faster, all that sort of thing, automatically steps up. I've made myself an amber staff. Now, an amber staff automatically recharges itself and at a pretty decent rate. However, you can see, it doesn't store much in the way of vis. So this isn't a wand you're going to use for tackling an invasion or doing a bunch of expensive spell casting. But what it is great for is all the little rechargey kinds of things that you do. So for example, I've brought my amulets and rings and girdles of shielding, and all of those require a steady supply of vis in order to keep them in repair, basically keep them more functional and working. And this wand provides that vis and recharges itself, so basically keeps all of that stuff up and running all of the time. Same thing with this thaumium pickaxe. I used the Infusion Altar to enchant this with Repair 2, and requires vis to keep itself repaired. So this likewise is going to power that. So you probably won't see me using this a ton, except for one thing. I have made myself a bunch of different foci, and the one in particular I'm expecting to use a bunch is this white illumination focus. What that does is it puts a little spot of illumination so that you can light up wherever you happen to be, just like a torch. Just tap it once and it goes away. Super handy thing though is that it does use a little bit of vis to do that, but since I'm using an amber staff, it recharges itself automatically and I get that vis right back again. So very handy for these low usage kind of situations, making little lights, repairing tools, and powering shielding charms. Apart from that, I've got all my usual things. I did bring my thermostatic harness along, as well as the thermostatic girdle. When you're caving, it's often kind of useful to be able to get up and down from high places, so I'll have this on me just in case. However, we are going to a pretty dangerous place, potentially, so I want to mostly have my armor on here. Apart from that, I've got a sword, I've got a pick, I've got some spare equipment here, and I've got my lens case. which is the last thing to talk about before we head out. Holding down the V key, you can see I've got an evanescent lens, which allows me basically X-ray vision. So as I look at these solid blocks, it shows me what's underneath just by one layer. And so you can kind of see through walls, which is very, very handy, of course, when you're looking for ores and whatnot. The second one that I've got is this Scholar's Lens. Probably not super helpful, but what it does is whatever you look at, it's as though you're waving a thermometer at it. And so it will do the research just by looking at things, even when you're not holding a thermometer. And then finally is the Illumin Lens. This is the same thing, well, it's light out so it doesn't show much, as having night vision. So this, of course, will be incredibly useful as we're going around in the cave system in case I get into a dark area. Of course, I'll have my Illumin one focus, so it will be not as much of a problem. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Zoom out here, go find my waypoint, because I actually set myself a waypoint at my Gulduril mine. Oh, that's not good. Remember how I said this was potentially dangerous? Turns out. So this is where that amber wand focus comes in handy. Yikes. Okay, clearly something went a little sideways here. Not to worry, we've got some tools here we can manage. I forgot to bring arrows, which is why I always have extra in my bag here. Traveler's boots, let me get out of trouble in a hurry. Ah, good, they're skirmishing. Doesn't stop them shooting at me, though. Okay. Yeah, didn't need that. Let's do this one focus instead. So this is my electrical wand focus. Okay, I think we're in good shape now. Somebody clearly had come here and drawn a lot of enemies back to this location, because I had set this up specifically as a reasonably safe place to come to. But it looks like I might have some danger down there too. Alright, well, first of all, let's get this loot out of the way. We'll just suss out what of this stuff I care about later on. Okay, that's fine. And we'll change our wand focus back to light. So what I have done, whoa. Yeah, so I've been down here previously and I had my Illumin lens on, and therefore I didn't put up torches. And so apparently whomever it was that was up on the surface has allowed a lot of these guys to respawn. Kind of my fault. I probably should have taken more precautions here. But definitely repairable. There's no particular reason to get rid of these extras, but it is a little bit useful. Alright, so there's some Gulduril right over there. So, what we can do, swap out some of these things here. And I've got not a lot of fuel, but I've got a little bit. So I'm going to press my H button to activate. We're going to come over here, drop down. Since I don't have a lot of fuel, I'm going to be a little bit careful about how much I wind up using. All right. So we can see it switches to stone over there, which means we've gone back into the Ithilien biome. So I'm not going to bother about going in that direction. This is Durnor. It's basically kind of a Mordor version of coal. Oh, yikes. All right. Some more Gulduril here. This is Mordor iron. You need an orcish furnace to be able to smelt it, which fortunately I raided from an orc camp not too long ago. I'm not going to bother about collecting Durnor. I don't actually need it at the moment. The orcish iron also I'm collecting because what you can do with this stuff, although you can't really use it if you're a good aligned person, so that is to say not aligned with the orcs, you can take the iron and throw it into your alchemical furnace and get metallum from it. And having the metallum allows you then to apply that to duplicating other metals that you might have. So if you're short on copper, you can add the metallum and some, the change one, I forget what it's called now. And that will let you get copper. And you can use just the plain metallum to duplicate your iron, metallum and lucrum to get gold, etc. So lots of different options if you have the raw metallum to use. Now there's a slight danger here of using my Thalmic harness as armor, because of course doing so means I'm going to damage that equipment, because it's not meant to be armor. Salt is also rare-ish and is very useful. So in the Lord of the Rings mod, there's not a lot of uses for salts, and so it's not something you need to find a lot of, and therefore there isn't a lot of it in the game. But with Harvestcraft, you use a lot of salt for making bread and all sorts of other things, so it's handy to pick up when you happen to notice it. Alright, so I've got 30 Gulduril, which is more than enough for what I have in mind. And you can notice I've kind of forgotten about setting up lights because this illumin focus is very, very handy. But I have also gotten myself pretty good and lost in this cave system. These are Morgul flowers. They'll occasionally spawn underground, just like regular flowers do. Fortunately, my Boots of the Traveler also give me a fair bit of fall protection. All right. So here, as an example, I can switch to my Scholar's Focus momentarily, scan the node, which apparently I've already done this one, so nothing new. And now I can wander back up here. Hello? So that orange kind of runes is the shielding taking effect. And you'll notice that on my hotbar, or in my health bar rather, oh, bother. Let's just deal with him. So this is a regular flame focus. Since I really can't reach him very well, I'm just throwing some flames up his way, and he'll keep taking damage. There we go. Okay, fine. So now I've gotten back to my staircase, and I think I can just get the heck out of here. Of course, I'm going to have to fast travel back home again, and since I fast travel so often back and forth to my home base, I'll probably be fine. So I'm being pretty judicious in my use of Vs here, because this one does not store very much. You can kind of see in my top left-hand corner that it's taking some time to recover. So I need to switch foci, and I need to be a little bit careful about how much of them I use. Switch to my sword when I'm dealing with an enemy who's got a weapon that I've got better reach on. You know, that guy, he's, for example, got much better reach than I do. He's got a big pole arm of some kind. All right. Well, rotten flesh. Crows. All right. Well, I think I can probably travel back home again, because fortunately I go back and forth to my home waypoint often enough where the time has gotten quite short on being able to go to that place. So yeah, fortunately I can get out of here. Now, of course, the fast travel has this countdown. So if I was in actual peril at this moment, I wouldn't be able to fast travel. Not so much because there's enemies nearby. It doesn't take that into account. But it does reset if you move, or if you are moved. So if an enemy is around and keeps bumping you, then that kind of counts against your ability to move. Okay, so here I'm going to use Shift F to undo my focus, and I'm going to use Shift V to undo my lens. And I'm going to put back all of my armor, and I'm going to take this off. Just kind of putting all of my things away here. Yep. And then all of the armor stuff goes over here. Okay, we're good there. Gulduril. Turns out I already had lots, but I figured it'd be useful to show you where that stuff can be found. This I will deal with later. That and that I will deal with later. Loot can go over there. We'll just drop that in the loot as well. I should refill my arrow supply in my extra gear bag. I try to always reset this back to its kind of initial position so that I've always got a full set of everything in here, so that I can open that up in an emergency and have everything I need. Okay, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Now, on to making my ender pearls. So, one thing that's good to know is that you actually can duplicate pearls. And I think, yeah, so, yeah, unfortunately it doesn't show you this here, but I can pull it up in here. If we go down to Middle Earth and we look at this gems research, then we can go look at all of these different gems, and each of them has its own ability to be duplicated. So Permutato and Vitreous will allow you to duplicate pearls. So I've done this a bunch of times. I actually set up a fishing golem, as you might have seen in the previous video, and had that one around so that it could find a pearl in the first place, which kind of worked, because what wound up happening is instead of finding a pearl, it found a really highly enchanted fishing rod. And so I stood there at the same time and started fishing alongside my little golem. And that was enough. I wound up finding a pearl almost right away using the magical fishing rod. So it kind of worked. So I've got him over there fishing right now. We'll see what else he turns up. Okay, so I've got my pearl in the center. I've got my Gulduril all around the sides. I've got Iter in enough quantity there. Set this thing going. And that will get me an ender pearl. And of course I'll have to repeat this process because I need at least one per mirror, so I'll have to make a couple of more, but I will spare you seeing a duplicate of that. And then I'll get back to you once I'm ready to start making the mirror. Okay, I have just finished putting together the materials that I need for making all the essences I'll require for making 2 mirrors. And it's kind of an interesting situation in that what we need here is aqua, which I've got lots and lots of, Iter, which is best found in boats, actually, which also produces aqua, so I'm good there doubly. And then Permutato, easily found from copper. However, the one place that you can get it that's renewable is soybeans. No idea why this was given Permutato, but you can turn soybeans into tofu, which can be turned into all sorts of different things. So it kind of fits, actually. So I have a hobbit who's growing a whole bunch of soybeans for me, so I can get lots and lots of Permutato. Happy coincidence, of course, is that this is the same stuff you need to grow new pearls, basically, to replicate your pearls, which, of course, is also needed for a lot of different things, for making ender pearls especially. So I'm just going to toss a whole bunch of soybeans in there and let them get to work. So once I've got my essences distilled, I will be right back with you. Okay, I think I've got everything. Double checking here. I've got lots of aqua, I've got lots of Iter, and I've got lots of Permutato. So let's grab these. Bring them over and gather the rest of the raw materials that we need here, which consist of some iron, mirrored glass, ender pearls. Mirrored glass being just some glass panes and quicksilver. So let me go grab those, be right back. Okay, I think I've got everything here. Of course, we have to do these one at a time, but that's not a problem. Lots of Iter, lots of Permutato, lots of aqua. 1, 2, and 3 pieces of iron, plus an ender pearl and a mirror in the center. Okay, that's our first mirror. Grab that guy off, and we'll set ourselves up to make the second one. Perfect. Got 2 mirrors now. Okay, so the question becomes where to place them. So they have to be in range, basically. So I think I'll try putting that one there. And then we'll try... That one there, I guess. Not perfect for a mirror to be stepping on it all the time, but we'll see. Hopefully that's within range for pretty much everything going on here. What I think I want to do, though, is to test this out by making something pretty simple that does require infusion. Let me see here. Maybe what I will make is a pickaxe of the core. And I think I've got all of these things. Do I have census? Yeah, I do. Do I have Perfidio? I do. And I believe the last one was Ignis. And I'm pretty sure I've got Ignis. Yeah, and they're spread out. So that's a good test. Can this mirror find the Ignis way over there? Or can it find the Perfidio way over wherever that was? Oh, that one's easy. And census over there. So that'll give me a good sense of if the radius on this thing is big enough. And then for materials, I need great wood, fire shard, and a diamond. Let's go grab that. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I think I've got everything. Let's clear these out of the way. The one question mark in my mind about all this is that the thaumium pickaxe I happen to have for that central ingredient is already enchanted. And I'm wondering if, one, will it just simply not work at all because it's not a plain old pickaxe? And two, if it does work, will it retain the enchantment? But one way to find out... So this potentially could go wrong. So I'm going to be paying attention pretty carefully to see whether the things come out of that mirror as they ought to do. Let me turn off that waypoint. And if they don't, then I'm going to have to stop this reaction pretty quick because I don't want to build up a lot of flux here. Let's see. One problem. Okay, not fantastic, but not too bad. What I forgot to do is pair the mirrors. So these two mirrors don't know about each other naturally. So what I'm going to have to do is take this Essentia Mirror and just right-click the other one with it. And now we can see this one has changed. It's linked to this particular one. That one, of course, is on the wall. It's already placed. So now let's try this again. And we can see that one's clearly linked. And that one also clearly linked. There we go. Ignis. Okay, that was one of the more distant ones. Lovely. We got the next one and the next one. Census. So those two were pretty far away. And it's pulling everything in. Alright, so Essentia Mirrors. Saves me having to haul those jars back and forth, and theoretically allows me to have my alchemy room and my infusion room at any distance at all from one another and magically transport all of the essence sizes I need from one place to another. That's it for now. Talk to you later.